Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. As we're heading into the weekend, Bitcoin dropped a little further. So late yesterday, I made a video. I think it hasn't dropped since then, but then was recovering a little bit while I made the video. And then obviously we have another drop here into Saturday. Let's see if today we're taking out this swing low at around $41,300. The idea is that we are still in this overall correction, a so-called ABC structure. Before we take a detailed look, let's take a look at the daily chart as well. Here's something noteworthy because I made you aware in the last few days on the daily chart about this trend line here, the ascending trend line that everybody could be watching. And we had a break now. So obviously the first daily candle closed below this ascending trend line, which is also why I communicated yesterday that we probably have a larger pullback starting. Yeah. We know that Bitcoin is already in the correction, has been in the correction since early December, but really as a pullback, not yet so much. It's just been a sideways correction. So let's see if that final C wave is going to lead to a more sector-wide pullback. For example, also across the altcoins. I mean, it likely started. We see signals everywhere. Doesn't mean it's a crash. Absolutely not. And obviously we are sort of in a, you could say, not yet maybe full altcoin season, but the altcoins have been outperforming Bitcoin, and Bitcoin dominance has been dropping. So it's going to be interesting how that carries on. But overall, I mean, anybody who's been waiting for a pullback, I mean, this is likely going to be another opportunity. The support area is well known. I mean, really nothing new happens, right? I mean, it's just that what we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks seems to be unfolding right now, which is potentially a drop into the support area. This is the key support area for the assumption that this here is a wave 4 pullback with a wave 5 to come. So, you know, whatever Bitcoin is doing, it shouldn't drop below $34,060, or we would have to revise the overall assumption here on the chart. If we talk about Fibonacci extension levels and targets for wave C, we take the length of the A wave, go to the high of the B wave, and the very first level to watch is going to be at around $39,940. That's the 100% extension level. Below that, I've got $37,407. It's the 1.618 extension level. I would pay attention to these levels in addition to the levels in the support box. Might be that we're ending this correction in the upper half of it. Now let's go to the smaller time frame, shorter time frame chart. And here, the microstructure I shared with you in the last videos is still valid. These change very often in these corrective patterns. Okay, we have very frequent changes of microstructures within corrections, but so far the price is respecting here the parameters of this pathway to the downside in a C wave. Again, the assumption is that we already have seen within this wave 4 an A wave. This is a B wave corrective rally. And the C wave down is basically started on 22nd of December. Now the C wave is unfolding. Now, it's not really an impulse, okay? So we can notice that we don't really see that aggressive move down that we would normally see in a full third wave of a third wave. So I'm thinking, is something different going on? What could it be? Yeah, I mean, it could be an ending diagonal. That's one option. And that means I would probably have to change the wave structure a little bit. We'll see how that develops, but that's sort of very difficult to forecast. I think all we can forecast at the moment is that the microstructure is likely going to change. There might be short corrective rallies that cannot really be predicted. But really what the price should do to carry on in this C wave to the downside is ideally to stay below $43,140, which is the Friday high, and better would be to stay below 43,837, which is the high that was made on Thursday. Because it could be that instead of an impulse down in the third wave, I will have to count an ABC structure, and then it would be something like that here. A wave, possibly we get that B wave bounce, C wave down. This is something that can always happen in these corrective patterns, So that's one scenario. It should really take us into the box, ideally, And I already gave you, however, the 100% extension level that would take us just slightly above the box actually. It's a level to watch. I mean, just so on the daily time frame, it might be slightly different here on the 1 hour time frame. What do we say on the daily for that level? 39,940. And here we've got 39,900. Okay, so it's the same level. Pay attention to the 100% extension level as well. Yeah. Now, I mentioned in the last videos that it could be, and this would be particularly frustrating again, that this B wave is still going, could still easily extend higher. Very much possible. Or we see, sideways extension, which could be a triangle pattern. So there's absolutely no way that would tell me that, well, Bitcoin isn't going to do that. So Bitcoin could easily extend still. And that is particularly the case because of this corrective structure to the downside that's unfolding here. Again, it's not an impulse. Yes, it's coming down, and Bitcoin reacted to the resistance area, and we took out some of the previous swing lows. But it's useful to understand that within such a C wave, first of all, if it's an ending diagonal, you have frequent changes of microstructure. But not only that, we have to consider the larger pattern, which is a wave 4, and we know that in wave 4s, you get a lot of extended B waves. So it's nothing we can predict, but it's stuff we can prepare for. And until we really have a nearly complete ABC structure, it's very difficult to say that this is definitely wave C. I'm leaning towards it, but we will have to be very flexible in this correction. Already the price action now is telling me that we have to stay on our toes here. But I think the levels and parameters are clear. The overall assumption, let's go back to the daily chart. The overall assumption is still that this is not a bearish scenario, okay? So literally it's just that pullback that we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks is unfolding a little bit and should still be followed by a fifth wave to the upside to 50K plus. That's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.